Tao Daily Tarot just around the corner. Let's get a little heads up, huh? The main energy here, the main focus for you, changing the wind. And with all that's going on astrologically in October, you know it's inevitable. Things are going to be different. So, what does that mean for you? Well, what it means is you have the power to make the change, but you have to make a decision. And that's what's so tough. Fear versus freedom. I'll give you the answers. At least the story anyway, coming up in just a moment. Hello and welcome back to the Tao Daily Tarot. Nice to have you here, whether you're first time or long time or cross watcher, you're all welcome. It's a tribal get together. Thank you. Alrighty, so for the first timers, this is sort of a list of things that separate this tarot reading from others. First of all, it's archetypal. I use no more than 10 cards. That's it. 4 different decks, 10 cards. Simple, plain, clean, and empowering for you. Okay? Secondly, I focus on energy. Speaking of empowering, I do not predict. When you get into predicting, first of all, you got 700 or 7 billion people, 7 billion people on the planet. It's way too hard to predict for that group, for everybody. You can't do it. But you can focus on key energies, and every reading is focused on one single energy that is surrounding you at this time. Now you can tap in, tap out, your choice. But it makes everything much clearer for you so that you can navigate your life successfully. I also do the hyper shuffle, and I try to get the read in about a 10-minute window because you have a busy life. I do a brand new read every day, 365 days a year. And a 10-minute read per day, you can easily squeeze in and get the information you need to lead a better life. Alrighty, very good. I just mentioned a moment ago the hyper shuffle. This is where it begins. Let's do it. And there you go. There is the hyper shuffle for the Tao Daily Tarot. Let's get down to it now. Remember I was talking about energy? Well, the Oracle card is the primary energy in every reading. This one says, there is a change in the wind. You can feel it. In fact, October is going to be a monumental month. I've been talking a lot about October because October really is going to be just amazing. And that's both good and not so good. You see, at this point, we have a Mercury Retrograde continuing in for most of October. So that's going to complicate the thinking, communications, those kinds of things. But we also, within a day or two, have Pluto going forward after going retrograde for several months. Along with Pluto, we have Saturn and Jupiter going forward later on in the month as well. 3 biggies, changing direction in a Mercury retrograde. If you know anything about astrology, wow, that's busy stuff. And October is setting up the next 6 months to year, maybe even farther. Things are going to drastically change. Some of that will be painful, some of that will be liberating. All depends. But the point of the matter is that change is now being felt. It is a cosmic roller coaster ride. Yes, there is a change in the wind. So let's move forward with that energy. At this point, you feel like the 8 of Swords. You feel trapped by your thoughts, by the information that's coming into you. You're confused. You don't know. You can't see clearly. And yet the fact of the matter is that, as you can tell, this person is not trapped at all. There are no swords preventing her from walking away. And notice her feet, 1 foot on land, 1 foot on water. That's stability and emotion. Solid. So all she has to do is remove the ties that bind, because they don't really bind, and walk out. Or undo the blindfold, or whatever. She has control. She can make a difference. To this point, she hasn't done it. She has been stuck. But I think that is about to end as we move into and out of October. Next thing up, of course, Knight of Pentacles. This guy moves very slowly. But he gets the job done. He's the only knight that does. Pentacles, of course, are things that you value, not simply money. It also has to do with your basic values. Was your health? Is your family, your friends, milk, chocolate? What's important to you? He is the one who helps you establish and develop your sense of self-worth. And you see all that yellow behind him? That's positivity, friends. That's positivity. It's moving. And in fact, it's being helped out by the sun, the best card in the tarot for sure. It liberates, it energizes, it shows everything. You see it all for what it's worth. And it's nice. The sun card. You have the power, you have the juju to be able to move with a change in the wind, because it's happening. It's going on. You can't stop it. It's moving forward. It's just that at this point you have to make a decision. You know you have to make a decision about something, but you can't. You can't. And you notice the swords are thoughts, ideas, words. But then there's that little moon up top. Plus, there is water behind this person. A lot of emotion, a lot of intuition. So you have the facts, or what you think are the facts, but it may be misinformation. And you also have your intuition telling you something different. That's where the battle lies. What you're thinking versus what you're feeling. And you have to check your information. This is why the Mercury retrograde is so important. I would spend the rest of this month checking the information in your life, or whatever decision you have to make, getting background information, because there's some little thing that you're missing. And that's going to be very significant. It doesn't seem like much now, but it's going to be huge. So now we move forward. Again, we have the sun card. Power, 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 power. All right, that's the magnifier. You do have a lot of power, a lot of clarity, but you have to tap into it. And with the sun card here twice, that's big. That says yes. Yes. You can make this decision. Just don't rush it. By the end of October, the answer is going to be obvious. It's going to be simple. It's going to be plain. It's going to be clear. Don't rush it. It's not that big of a deal. You can handle it. And then the next magnifier card is the Queen of Pentacles. You're looking for your value system. You're looking for what's important to you to help you make that decision. The Mercury retrograde, along with the major planets moving forward, will give you that clarity, will help you make that decision. Now, the odds are you already know what's important to you and why it's important to you. But remember, we were talking about this indecision card, the Two of Swords. You will need a little more input, a little more time, a little more thought. But by the end of the month, it will be clear what your values are. Let's hit the vice versa cards. So, it looks like the Eight of Cups, you're going to have to walk away from something that you love or did love. At one point, it was a love, at least. But you know it doesn't work. You know it's not happening anymore. And this can be an individual relationship. It can be a connection. It can be a connection to your country, to your values, something that you were attached to very deeply. And for some time, you got to walk away from. You're not doing it yet, but you are in preparation. And that is part of the indecision that you are carrying with you. And that's the reason for the Mercury retrograde. In fact, speaking of, here we go again. Here's another card that shows up, right? Two of Swords. In the middle of all this emotion, there are two ideas. Or it could be having to make a choice logically or having to make a choice intuitively. And you don't know just yet. You're getting ready. You're pretty sure you know, but you need a little more information to come in, and that's the Mercury retrograde. In any event, you're working on the change. You're working on making the move. You're working on stepping forward. You know there's a change in the wind. You feel it. It's blowing in your face. It feels refreshing. It feels freeing. And it also feels scary. And that indeed may be what this Two of Swords thing is all about. It feels liberating, but it's also scary. And you have to work that out. That's the emotion-logic battle. And again, since we had in both cases the Sun appear twice and the Two of Swords appear twice, you can do this. Just give this time. End of the month, you'll see things clarify. And they may go in a direction that right now, this moment, you're thinking, never happen. But between now and the end of October, with all the planetary motions, you may change your mind. Yep, that's what a change in the wind is all about. Very, very powerful read. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share it with you. This is a very important month. I can't emphasize it enough. So take care of business, and the Mercury Retrograde will lead you. So, like, share, subscribe. I would appreciate it. A little bit of this thumbs up action. I'm getting better at this. I give a thumbs up when you come to the reading. That way the folks at YouTube know you're interested. Okay, I do a brand new read, as I mentioned, every day, 365 days a year. I will be back here tomorrow so that we can do this again. After all, you and I are in the same tribe, so to speak. But if you're not here, between now and the next time we do have a chance to talk tarot together, blessings.